What's up, guys? It's Tony from Streetball Strategies, where we use strategy to build your streetball legacy. Today we are starting a series on how to practice by yourself. And today's topic is going to be very basic, which is choosing to actually come out here and play by yourself when the court is empty. Now, the reason that is important, and the reason I am covering the actual decision to come out here and play by yourself when the courts are empty, is because I have known way too many players over my playing career that will make the decision to come out to the court. They want to play, they want to be out here. They come out here, they see the court, nobody's here. They think to themselves, well, it would be a waste of my time to go out to the court and play by myself. It would be a waste of my time. It would put wear and tear on my body. And besides that, I thrive inside of competing against other people. I can't thrive by myself, so I might as well go home. And I understand that approach. I disagree very much, but I understand what they're getting at. And there can be arguments made for not putting wear and tear on your body. If you're of a certain age and you have a certain amount of wear and tear on your body already, or you're recovering from an injury or things like that, then you can make the argument for not putting sort of the wear and tear on your body. But barring those caveats, I always endorse that an empty court represents opportunity. It definitely shouldn't be looked at as a waste of your time. The only thing that's a waste of your time is what you deem to be a waste of your time. And this is where perspective becomes very important, because to you, what could be a waste of time, to me would be a golden opportunity. And it's just a matter of how you look at it and what your perspective is. And I guarantee you that the more you look at every possible situation out here as an opportunity to improve your game, as opposed to, oh, this is a waste of my time, or I don't have time for that, or I don't want to do that, or I don't need to do that. Having a negative perspective as opposed to a opportunistic perspective can be very defining in terms of what kind of streetball player you are. And you should really sort of examine that about yourself. If you come out here and there's nobody out here, and your big overarching thought is, it would be a waste of my time to go out there by myself, you should sort of internalize that and know that that's the kind of player you are, which is probably more of a casual player. Now, you don't necessarily have to be casual to come out here and go, it'd be a waste of my time to be out here by myself. You might be just a talented player who doesn't feel like they need any extra practice. But this channel is directed more so towards those of us who don't really have much talent, and thus we need as much practice and as many advantages as we possibly can get. So, that being said, being opportunistic is very important when it comes to different situations that you're going to come across out here, especially by yourself. Why do I say that? Because I do believe in the cliched idea of winners doing things that losers don't want to do. And the idea that because we are not as talented as the average player, out here. We do need as many opportunities and as many repetitions and as many advantages as we can get to be able to compete with the average player out here. And so, whereas a decently talented player would see an empty court and go, I'm going to wait for competition. I don't want to put the miles on my body, and I play better with competition anyway. Whereas they would have that thought process. I encourage you for your thought process to be empty courts means a world of opportunity for you. When I was in sort of the prime of my playing days, I would intentionally come out to the court at times when I knew they would be empty. Even when I did show up to a court and with the intention of playing, and that I thought people were going to be out here, and then it turned out to be an empty court, even my thought process was kind of a disappointed, man, I wish people are out here. I was looking to get some games in. You know, I allotted this amount of time for today to come out here and get some competition going. So my thought process would start out with being sort of disappointed, and then I would immediately realize that, okay, I have this time set aside to be out on the court. I'm not just gonna go home and get some burgers and fries on the way and watch TV instead of playing ball. I would realize that now this empty court means I am about to push myself to my limits, because I have the opportunity by myself to now expose all of my weaknesses out here, because nobody's here to see them. Nobody's out here to discover them and thus use them against me. I can now take all of my weaknesses, put them out here and go, okay, I'm gonna get better at this and this and this, and use that empty court as an improving ground. But in order to improve, you have to push yourself to do that. And I would know that an empty court meant the hardest possible work that I was gonna have to do on a basketball court was gonna happen on an empty court by myself. And that's difficult. That can be really sort of a mental and emotional hurdle to get over, because you came out here looking for competition and to play with some people and have some fun, and now you're presented with an empty court, which means you're about to work as hard as you possibly can, and it's not going to be fun, and it's probably going to be exhausting and maybe tedious, and it's not really something that you really look forward to. But if you can truly keep in mind that basketball is one of the very few concepts in life that is fair, because life itself is not fair, meaning you can work really hard at something, try as hard as you can to get a specifically desired outcome, and then in the end you just don't get it. That's just life, and it just happens like that sometimes. In basketball is, as far as I know, is the closest to fair that life gets, because in my experience, genuine hard work and genuinely implementing that hard work smartly will yield positive results. It just does. That's just how basketball works. You work hard, you get a payoff. Now, realize that it's probably not going to be as much of a payoff as you would like, because that would be too good to be true. But the point is, you work as hard as you can, and at the end you do see positive results. And they may not come that day or that next week or as fast as you would like them, and they may not be as much a result as you would like. But the point is that you do put in the work, and the work gives you positive results. Now that goes both ways. If you get lazy and you go, nobody's out here, I'm not gonna practice, that's a waste of my time, I'm going home, the pendulum swings in that direction as well, meaning you're not gonna get better because you went home, right? You're only gonna get better because you came out here and pushed yourself as hard as you can. That's how you get better. That's how you get the results you want. And basketball is fair in that way, as long as you keep that in mind, that, all right, I'm out here by myself, I'm gonna work really hard as I possibly can, but I know that I am going to get results from that hard work sooner than later. As long as you really believe that and you really buy in, because it is really true, then it makes the sort of disappointing, surprised empty court syndrome a little easier to cope with. And so make that decision. Come out here, work as hard as you can, do what you need to do to get better. Believe that you will get better, and you will see positive results from that, because that is how basketball works. But you can't always practice with your friends or get games in with strangers for competition to sort of get your competitive juices flowing, right? It doesn't always work out like that. In fact, in my experience, as time has gone on, these courts are more and more empty, at least seemingly, the older I get. And that's sad. I mean, where I live has never been a huge basketball town in general, but when I was younger, it seemed to me more people are on the court more often, and now it's not nearly that way, and so you have more empty courts, and that's a bummer, and I wish they were more active more of the time. But in reality, you can flip that perspective and just look at it as, well, it's their loss. They, whoever they are, future competition, they could be out here practicing and getting better and working on their game, but they're not, and thus they won't, but you are, and you will put in that work, and thus you will get better. Their empty court is sort of your window of opportunity. And so making that decision to come out here and practice by yourself, even if you did it just yesterday, even if this is your 4th day in a row doing it, whatever, get out here, practice, get better. You don't know what your competition is doing right now. They could be at the gym, or they could be sleeping, or they could be eating a foot-long sub. They could be watching Netflix. You don't know what they're doing, but you do know that you are here and it's empty, and that means essentially that you're going to get better. You don't know if they're getting better or not. All you can control is what you're doing, and what you're going to do is see an empty court and take advantage of it and push yourself as hard as you can. So that is that topic. I am very passionate about that because I love ball, and to see an empty court with people who choose not to play is crazy to me, especially because the courts in this town, some of the best of them have been recently completely refurbished, and for there to not be people out here regardless of that is mystifying to me. So make that decision to make use of empty courts. They need players on them. They need real players on them, and they need you to really put in the work while you're out here. Don't just shoot around. That's a waste of your time. It's a waste of the court. Don't just shoot around and waste time. Really put in work. In future videos in this series, we will get more specific about what you do with your time on an empty court to practice. But for now, my goal is to just get you out here by yourself. Don't be self-conscious. Don't be shy. Don't think it's a waste of your time. Identify your weaknesses and come out here on this empty court and attack them. And you will get better, because that's how basketball works. Okay, guys. That's enough for today. I think I rambled on enough about empty courts for one day. Please like this video if you thought these ideas were helpful. Please subscribe so that you can get more awesome content coming your way in the future, such as me complaining about empty courts. Hit that bell so you can be notified of future videos in this series. And the most important thing you guys can do is to share this video. There are not a lot of people, at least on YouTube or the internet in general, that seem to be passionate like this, where you say, hey, there's an empty court. Where's all the ballers? You know, the passion for ball is very waning. We've become a society apparently where people want to watch other people, more talented people, play ball, and I'm not down with that. I don't want to be a voyeur. I want to come out here and see what I can do. It's important to share that passion with people and to get it out there and to find other people who have this other kind of passion. And the way we do that is by sharing these videos, sharing the channel, telling everybody you can think of that videos like this exist and people really do think about basketball in these terms, because we do have that kind of passion for street ball. So please share these videos so that we can get these ideas out there. We can bring more people in to make this community bigger. We can communicate with each other and share our ideas, and thus make each other better basketball players in the process. So thanks for watching, guys.